You gave me the Eiger Sanction.
Let's get American here. Let's go to the opposite side of the pond. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, The Stepford Wives is an American movie by a British director. This is an American movie by an American director who really wanted you to know how American he was when he made this movie.
Yeah.
It was sort of, I've read that it was sort of his answer to James Bond movies, a real American. And there's definitely James Bond vibes here.
Oh, for sure.
You hadn't seen it. You gave it to me for a very interesting reason, though.
Yes, I did. I hadn't seen any movies from 1975 that you hadn't seen. So there was a reason I had to do this. And the reason I chose it is because my parents' first movie that they ever went on a date to was the Eiger Sanction. And as the story goes, my mom fell asleep on my dad's shoulder and big puddle of drool on him. Yeah, on their first date too. Hey, 40 something years later, married in 76. So yeah, they're almost 50 years later, three kids, a bunch of grandkids. So somehow it worked. And somehow they got overseeing the Eiger Sanction together, which is a really weird movie.
Yeah. So I was going to say it is a miracle that the relationship went on past the first date. That being said, your mom falling asleep makes total sense because I can't imagine a woman, even in the 70s, watching this movie and being like, wow, I'm so revved up now. I'm so ready to go.
Right. Yeah. I feel represented. I feel seen by this movie. Not at all.
Yeah. So this is, if it's possible, more offensive than any James Bond movie. We joke, or really you joke, when we do James Bond movies on this podcast, how long does it take for there to be a sexual assault joke in the movie? Mm-hmm. And this takes it to the next level because Eastwood is directly saying, I like to rape.
Yeah, there's 2 big rape jokes in the movie that I think are supposed to land. I don't know, maybe audiences in the 70s were more into that. I don't know.
Pretty
but it plays really badly now. And it's hard to, it's just hard to hear. And there's a lot of things in this movie that are just remnants of the time that just make it really difficult.
What time? What a miserable time. It's funny because on the surface and by its name, this sounds like a spy movie. This sounds like 3 Days of the Condor. This sounds like the Parallax View. It's got the Eiger Sanction. It sounds like it's some big espionage thing. And it is not really that.
No.
For one thing, Eastwood is not a spy. He's a hitman. But he's not a hitman. He's a college professor of art. But he's not a college professor of art. He's a mountain climber.
He's a man of many talents.
He's a real Renaissance man. And I think that's probably what he was going for. Being like, look how cool I am. Like anyone who directs themselves in a movie in the 70s, every woman wants him so bad. He reprimands a college student, one of his students in the beginning, for hitting on him by smacking her ass.
And telling her, he tells her, study your ass off, but then don't study the whole thing off. Oh, and that's in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
It's really early on. You should tell us what it's about.
Yeah, well, it's about stuff, I guess. It's a very loose sort of story. Because the main concern of the movie is making Clint Eastwood look cool, and he can do everything at any given time with very little resistance. There's not a lot of obstacles he has to overcome here. He just has to figure stuff out when we figure it out. But his old boss wants him to kill 2 people. He says he'll only kill 1. So once he kills the first, it gets all convoluted. And his boss is a weird albino who has to stay alive through blood transfusions and can't be exposed to any sunlight at all, and it's super weird,
and it's completely tonally out of touch with the rest of the movie.
Absolutely, those scenes are just coming in from another planet, and there's a woman who gets involved who, obviously is going to betray him, and he gets with her anyway, and then she betrays him again, and we're just spoiling the crap out of this movie. But yeah, the plot is very, very loose, but it's about some assassinations and whether or not they happen, and whose side is who on, and who's going to ultimately betray him and when he's going to figure it out. It's one of those kind of movies, and in a way, like you said, it's not super boring. It does drag a little bit, but some of the action scenes are cool, the mountain climbing stuff is cool, so there is some good stuff in the movie, but it's so over the top and awkward in so many ways.
You touched briefly on so many things that I want to dig into, which is also why I didn't want to gloss over the Stepford Wives. I'm glad we talked about it as much as we did, but I have a lot to say about the Eiger Sanction. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. This woman, she comes on to him. It's so obvious she's a spy, and he gets mad at himself for not knowing she's a spy later, but it's you're an idiot. You're so dumb. It's the stewardess who is so hot just happens to hit on you on the airplane. I guess they set that up kind of by having the college student hit on him before, but it's why it was so obvious. And then her being black is such an important part of her characterization. It's so racist, and it's so racist in the effort of making Eastwood look so not racist, right? That's the whole point. He's like, oh, I'm really into miscegenation, but all the ways he describes her are so racist.
Yeah, a lot. It's super weird.
But he's supposed to be so cool because he has a black girlfriend. It's really wild the way it's framed. And then you've got the whole third act is a mountain climb. Like the movie shifts and becomes about mountain climbing.
I thought it was going to be more about mountain climbing, honestly. Like, I was a little surprised that didn't really play in until, like you said, the last, third or so.
Yeah. And that's gorgeous. Like, the cinematography there is amazing. It's all shot on location, and Eastwood climbed for real, which is pretty wild.
How did they do it? They just did it.
Yeah, he just did it. Well, he didn't have to, but he definitely did.
Yeah.
And one of the climber consultants on this movie died during the filming of the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And even the stuff in the United States, like out west, that climbing, that stuff is very cool and very beautiful. And in that section of the movie, we got a lot of George Kennedy, which I'm always happy to see him. He is maybe my favorite character actor of all time. I'm obsessed with George Kennedy. And he's very good in the movie, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the opposite, the Miles Mello character, which is the most gay panicky character you will ever see in a movie. His dog's name is the F slur. Wow, he says it a lot.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, he says it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny in a shocking way the first time, and then it started making me feel kind of sick.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is just like bubbling around. And then you know the biggest thing that you mentioned that I want to touch on is that Eastwood never has any resistance, and then he solves the movie by accident. After failing the mountain climb. Like, the whole premise of the third act is that he has failed to climb this mountain twice, the Eiger. He's failed to climb the Eiger twice. And the sanction is like their word for a murder, for a hit, just so they could, copyright trademark a name of a movie.
Yeah.
So the whole thing's he's failed it twice. He's going to conquer it this time, and one of the other climbers on the expedition is this assassin he's after.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, like you said, we're spoiling this.
Yeah.
None of them are. They're all just kind of dickheads. They're not assassins. George Kennedy is the person he's actually after, but he's not a bad guy. And then all the climbers die anyway. The climb fails. Eastwood decides not to kill his target. And then there's what I hated about the ending. Was that both the lackey of the albino guy and the woman, the female lead, suggest that Eastwood may have sanctioned all three of the climbers himself, and we would never know, except we were up there with him, so we know he didn't.
Yeah.
The music and Eastwood's demeanor make it seem like we're not supposed to know for sure, but we do know for sure.
Because we saw it, because we were there.
Anyway, I gave it 3 stars because it looked amazing.
Yeah, and I did too. I gave it 3 stars, for the look and like the cinematography, and just like I said, it's such a fascinating piece of uncomfortable 70s cinema. Like some of the stuff we watched from the 70s is, like really holds up and doesn't have a lot of this awkward ickiness to it, but this one had so much of it. So it was, kind of fascinating in a uncomfortable way.
It actually is a great pairing with the Stepford Wives because you have something satirizing the misogyny that was rampant in the Eiger Sanction. And It seems like Eastwood does not want to engage with it actually at all. Or the times he thinks he's engaging with it, like with the female lead, he's making an ass of himself.
He really is. And it's interesting, too, because if you look at some of the later movies that Eastwood did, made some great movies with female leads who, were great characters. Of course, you've got The $1 Million Baby, with Hilary Swank. And, even movies like Unforgiven were more sympathetic to female characters. So I definitely think he softened maybe as he got older, or maybe this was, I don't know, a phase he was going through or something, where, like you said, he wanted to be James Bond. And I think that's very apparent. And there's definitely influence there. And also, hey, maybe was their influence on Indiana Jones? Like there's a professor, going out and doing dangerous stuff. And so, I mean, there's a parallel there too. So definitely a lot of interesting things in this movie. But if I'm looking at Eastwood's full filmography, it's not going to rank very high.
No. So I just want to make a few notes about the cast. Vanetta McGee plays Jemima Brown. Now, I will cut him a little bit of a break because at least he had the good sense to lampshade us a bit. They make fun of the name in the movie. Yep. Like they talk about the name being absurd.
And she goes by Jem. So like that.
Right.
They make it work.
Right. I think to their credit, I think that is a joke about James Bond girls. You've got these girls with these absurd names, and he's calling it out.
Yeah.
Jack Cassidy played Miles Mello. I point this out because this is the father of David Cassidy from the Partridge Family.
Oh.
Are you surprised that this man had a child? I am.
Yes.
Rumors abounded that he was gay and his marriage was a sham, and I think his son David agreed with that. None of the climbers are actually all that interesting, but the other big character in the movie is Gregory Walcott, who played Pope, the lackey of Dragon, the albino.
I thought they call him Dragon.
Yeah, and why not? He's such an absurd alien character anyway. But Gregory Walcott, who played Pope, is famous for being in Plan 9 from Outer Space. So good for Gregory Walcott for getting out of B movies and into weird A movies.
Yeah. I think one person you're missing from the cast is Brenda Venus, who trains Clint Eastwood for the trial. And I mean, he's talking about, gorgeous woman. I just pulled up her filmography. She was in a couple other things. She ended up, the biggest thing she was in after this was 48 Hours, which I think that's a never did it for me. But she's also in Foxy Brown, would have been the other kind of big thing she was in. And then she was only in a handful of other things. So she didn't do very many movies, but she definitely has kind of an important part here. But again, she's also basically treated like an object.
Yeah, so she's a indigenous woman who has an amazing body that is very exposed in this movie, and I think got a lot of young men in the 70s through puberty.
Yeah.
But her character is absurd. Like, she's the exotic native who runs through the wilderness and trains Eastwood even though he can't touch her, and when she finally gives in to him, of course she betrays him, because every woman is duplicitous.
That's right.
Actually, every woman in this movie is duplicitous, because the only other woman in the movie, there's the college girl who, and your call about Indiana Jones is 100% right. It's like the exact same scene.
Except Harrison Ford doesn't get creepy about it. He doesn't he doesn't slap anyone on the ass and say gross things to them.
No, but the scene in the classroom, like the girl writing "I love you" on her eyelids, like that's from this. The other woman is one of the climber's wives who is having an affair with a different climber and hits on all women are awful in this movie.
Brutal.